Let me go ahead and I will share my screen here. Okay. All right. Everything will look good on your end?
Yes.
All right. Perfect, guys. So welcome all the many wonderful English language teaching professionals and students across Kazakhstan are joining us here this evening for our fourth and final session. Wow, I can't believe it. It's the fourth and final session. It was supposed to be 5, became 4. I'll explain that in a moment. But as Estelle mentioned, my name is August Garnsey, and I am the Virtual English Language Fellow. So that was one thing I want to mention before we kind of get into some things tonight about the content, about our topic, is regarding like certificates. So, due to a lot of different multiple circumstances, we were not able to produce and have the webinar last week. Okay, so that way, potentially we're thinking about rescheduling it, but just to let everybody know that the following week, next week, is actually kind of a special week. It's going to be International Education Week, which is something that is going to be celebrated here by the U.S. Department of State and U.S. Department of Education. And we actually have some special programming, virtual webinars that we're going to be doing next week. So we can't actually move it around. So unfortunately, we just had to actually cut out one of the webinars in this English language teacher development series. So yes, that's correct. So there's a total then, including tonight, of 4. What that means then for certificates is that as long as you attended at least 3 of the sessions, then not 4, but as long as you attended at least 3 of the sessions, then so you'll be able to get that certificate. So hopefully some of you are like, hey, I already got 3. Goodbye. So because we're English language teaching professionals and we're dedicated, so we won't be doing that. But again, so just to make it clear again, so 3 out of 4 sessions will get you the certificate. Okay, guys? All right, so let's go ahead and move forward here with our topic tonight here. So online vocabulary and lexical development tools is going to be the focus. And again, I have some great invited guest speakers that are going to be joining me tonight that you're going to hear from after I'm done with my part here in the beginning. So in this webinar, guys, what you'll do is you'll be able to collectively build an understanding of the challenges and ways of teaching vocabulary, because I know we have a lot of great experience here, a wealth of knowledge collectively amongst the many participants that we have here. We have 100 participants. You're going to be able to gain an online tool to analyze the written lexicons of your students or even yourself, okay? Acquire a list of over 20 online tools to help boost your ability to engage your learners in vocabulary development and get some specific practical knowledge on some applications such as VisuWords, WordHippo, and Free Rice, which will be presented on Follow Me a little bit later here, okay? So for those of you that potentially may be new to this, maybe your first time, because we do have some first timers with our group, and we always welcome you. And those that are returning back, we welcome you guys back. It's just really always a pleasure of mine every week to be able to partner with ASAIL and with American Corners Kazakhstan and their network to be able to provide programming. And it's not just for English language teachers, but I provide webinars for a wide range of audience through different series and different types of events. Now, what is a fellow? You guys may be wondering, for those that may not know me, I am partnered locally in Nur Sultan with Ellen Gamil of Eurasian National University. Now I'm in the Foreign Languages Theory and Practice Department. I work with pre-service and in-service English language teachers, so graduate and undergraduate students. I think indeed 2 foreign languages major. Now I'm really kind of emphasizing that because tonight our special invited guests are actually some of my graduate students at Eurasian National University. And I'm really proud to have them here joining me tonight, and you'll get to hear from them shortly. Okay, guys, so moving forward here, just want to let everybody know that by attending this event, you may be photographed. So just by being here, you're providing your consent to photographic image and audio and also video. but this is strictly just for promotion of exchange between our two countries and our governments. None of this will be used for any kind of commercial purposes. Okay, all right. So you guys know I like to start with a poll often, and why not? It's our last session. Another poll, here we go. So using Mentimeter, because I love it, you know, there are other tools out there, Slido, some others, but I love Mentimeter. So the question for all of our wonderful participants, we got over 100 participants now. So the question is, how well have you integrated online or digital tools into your vocabulary teaching? Now, it's based on a 5-choice scale. Once you log into menti.com, and will not log in, but just go to the site, menti.com, type in that 8-digit code in yellow you see on the screen, 47145813. Okay, so when you go to menti.com, you don't need to sign up or anything like that. Put in that 8-digit code, and you're going to see the choices of those 5. Okay, I'm going to go take it to the presentation of that poll so we can go ahead and see the results right now. And we can really understand truly, collectively, how are we doing with integrating online or digital tools with our vocabulary teaching? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. And tonight I'm choosing the dot layout. Why? Because dots are cool. I always like to think about connecting the dots. It's always good to do that. So why not have a visual display of dots? All right. So as you guys can kind of see collectively, we're doing pretty good. So how well have you integrated online or digital tools into vocabulary teaching? And it's safe to say that of the participants here that have responded so far, we've all used them at some point in some capacity, okay? Maybe for some purpose, it could be different purposes, but I see, you know, a lot of us use sometimes, which is okay. And it's okay. And I want you guys to be honest with this here, okay? So a lot of you put sometimes, but not really, maybe consistently, you're always using online tools. You know, quite a few of you use it quite often. You're pretty confident, you're consistently using some type of digital or online tools when it comes to developing vocabulary. And some of you, you know, once in a while, you like to use it for fun, you know, to kind of mix things up, kind of engage maybe even different students that maybe aren't really being reached with certain types of approaches based on their learning styles. And I'm happy to say that nobody has a dot there at never. All right. I knew Kazakhstan has the best English teachers, right? You know, so this is awesome. All right, guys. So thanks for participating in that poll. Looks like 30 of us. So a third of us participated in it, guys. I always want you guys to actively participate in the poll or also in the chat. Feel free always to put responses, questions, things like that into the chat throughout all of the presentations tonight, okay? All right, thank you guys for participating in that poll. Well, let's move forward here back to the presentation. So now what I want to ask, and again, it's going to require your participation here, guys. Let's collectively build our knowledge. What are some obstacles that English language learners in Kazakhstan have regarding vocabulary development? What do you guys think?
Sorry for interrupting you.
Hmm?
I'm in a way home. Is it okay if I join a bit later?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, guys. And again, if you do have any kind of questions, please put it into the chat. Thank you, guys.
That is why I can't switch my camera. I'm so sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So thank you. All right. We hope to see you back soon, shortly. Everyone's always welcomed. All right. So I'm looking here into the chat, guys. Again, the question is out there. What are some obstacles that English language learners in Kazakhstan have regarding vocabulary development? Okay. We're talking about challenges, obstacles, things that are preventing them from the development of their vocabulary. What is it? Okay, let's take a look here. So let's see. Perzat, thank you. All right, I see starting off with the responses, traditional approach for vocabulary learning. So potentially the obstacle or challenge is actually stemming from our method of how we're teaching it. That's sure, absolutely. Yeah. First language, yeah. Interference from the L1, absolutely. Mother tongue, definitely. Not content bound, okay, yeah. Some of them are hard, okay. Unfamiliar culture, okay. Things, okay. Anything else, guys?
No communication, maybe they have no, there is no condition to communicate with each other. Okay. That's why it's hard for them to remember this vocabulary, to learn it by heart. Sometimes they are not motivated to learn the vocabulary by heart because there are no opportunities to speak using this vocabulary.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you for that. Yeah, so limited input, the environment itself, I mean, just the exposure to it, absolutely. There's just a lot of English words out there. Yeah. Technological constraints, okay, definitely. So these are all good reasons, absolutely, some of these obstacles, these challenges that we have. So, okay, so what about this next question then here, guys? So what about this? So how do you teach vocabulary offline? And if you guys want to just maybe throw out like an activity name or like a technique or something that you use, just go ahead and throw that into the chat. And feel free to keep kind of putting things into the chat as we go through all the presentations, so we can build kind of this collective knowledge of some activities or ideas. And if anybody sees anything in the chat, that they're curious about, feel free to engage each other too as well in the chat. Okay, definitely. We're all here to support each other. Okay, so it's not just about me to you. We're English language teaching professionals. It's part of our job. We support each other. It's what we do and we love to do. Okay, guys, so let's take a look here in the chat.
Yeah. My name is Zulfira. I'm a master degree student, and at my practice with second degree students, what I do, first of all, I showed them the Thesaurus website. I love it so much, and I showed how they can use it to read the definitions, to learn synonyms and antonyms. And during the lessons, I asked them to do the same with new words. So it's like a home task. They have to learn new words, and then the lesson have to give me the definitions and synonyms and antonyms, and then create their own sentences.
Okay, yeah, cool. That's a great idea. Thank you for that, guys. Yeah, and I see tons of great ideas, tons of examples, activities, techniques. I mean, like I said, collectively, we got a lot of knowledge here together tonight. We are representing all of Kazakhstan, and there's so many brilliant teachers, and there's so many great things that we've come across in all of our experience combined and all the teaching years that we've had in Kazakhstan. And look at this, tons of ideas. And like I said, if anybody has any questions about things you saw in the chat that somebody shared, please feel free to engage each other as well. Now, we do need to kind of keep moving on. I do ask everyone, please, if you do have comments or questions, please put into the chat. I can't have everybody actually putting on the microphone and speaking during it because we do have very limited time tonight, and I do have some other guest speakers to get to. So I please, again, ask everyone to just put into the chat. We want to hear from you guys. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to move forward here now. Okay. There's one thing I want to mention before I talk about a specific online tool for analyzing Lexis, and we get into some other type of online tools for vocabulary development. What about approach? Because one of you mentioned beginning that one of the challenges, maybe one of the obstacles, is our method and how we're teaching it. So I do want to just kind of point this out, no matter whether you're using, digital tools or you're in low tech or no tech trying to teach vocabulary development, there's one approach that I just got to put out there to let everybody know. You may recognize that book or the title about implementing the lexical approach. So the lexical approach was written by Michael Lewis back in the 1990s. It's something that's not new. This is how I approach vocabulary teaching. And this is something that I came across kind of earlier on in my graduate studies. I took a course on teaching vocabulary, and I'm really thankful for having this book introduced to me. I'm sure you guys can find this book, a digital copy for free somewhere on some site. I know you guys have your places online that you can go for some copies of things. Okay, nothing shall be named here in the webinar, but again, so you guys have your places to go for some digital copies. If you haven't read The Lexical Approach here by Michael Lewis, I encourage you guys to do it. You know, he understood that grammar is important, but really, I mean, his focus was on understanding and producing lexical phrases, or what's also known as language chunks. You may not have read the book, but probably you've heard of this term, language chunks. And it's really the best way to approach for vocabulary teaching. I mean, we're talking about fixed expressions that occur more commonly in spoken English. We're talking about up to 80% of speech from native English speakers like myself. You know, it's made up of these fixed phrases, these language chunks, okay? And actually after the Implementing the Lexical Approach was printed, Norbert Schmidt, another American, he was studying in the UK, and he really supported Michael Lewis. And he did a lot of research into about, you know, the lexical approach and kind of some other type of more biological things with humans, and to try to do some research to support that. And he said something about the mind processes chunks as one piece. And, you know, what do we think? What does this mean? So to process things as one piece. So think about this. Our brain, he's saying, basically does not discriminate when it comes to the size of what that piece of information is. So basically saying that he's trying to imply that, say, for instance, you know, this is a very simplified type of example. Say our brain can only have a capacity of 10 pieces of information. Let's quantify it. You could take 10 pieces of information. Now, if you try teaching just 10 single words versus 10 language chunks, Norbert Schmidt and the research that he did was very impressive, actually. And it really, really supported Michael Lewis with his lexical approach, and that he provided a lot of research to show that this was true and how we actually, you know, our mind worked. You know, we're talking about short-term memory versus long-term memory, and our short-term memory is just not as strong. Our capacity is very much more limited when it comes to long-term memory as human beings. And so basically, again, you know, why teach a lexical approach? Not just because somebody, you know, told you to, but again, I mean, there's a lot of research showing that, you know, language chunks and the way our brain works, it's just easier to digest. I know that as I'm trying to learn, you know, Kazakh and Russian, you know, and I've had moments where I've struggled when I've been fed just a lot of single words, but then when I've been fed language chunks, naturally I'm doing much better, and I can retain that and I can use it much more better in conversation. So that's important, okay? So again, lexical approach, please guys, go ahead and check that out if you have not already read it before. Now, I don't want to take too much time about the kind of the tool that I want to kind of share with everybody, because I want to make sure that my invited guests also have some time to share their great applications as well. Here's some questions I want to propose to all of you. We're all experienced. I mean, we have different levels of experience. We're a very diverse group of educators across Kazakhstan. Have you heard these before? How about this? Do you ever receive the question, teacher, how can I sound more sophisticated? Now, maybe some of you think, okay, maybe if you're talking about young learners, you know, you don't have many third graders asking, how can I sound more sophisticated? Yeah, that might sound really cute. If a third grader came up to me asking, how can I sound more sophisticated? I'd be really impressed. So in reality, probably we're talking more about, you know, older teenage learners, adult learners, university students potentially. But again, if you have been asked this question, you know, I mean, probably in some form or shape, you've been asked this. I know that I've been asked this a lot in Kazakhstan about how can I sound more sophisticated? Or what about, you know, a question regarding collocations, you know, and the strength of that collocation partnership between those words. Typically, this is how it comes out as a question to you. It's kind of, teacher, how does this sound? We're not talking about pronunciation. A lot of times, you know, learners will be pretty explicit, like, how do you pronounce this? When they say, you know, how does this sound? They're not really referring or implying the actual, you know, phonetics or oral or the mechanics of our mouth and how to produce something, but they're actually saying, like, you know, does this sound right? As in, do these go together? Do they fit? I mean, does this sound natural? Okay. Or what about this question? When we're having our self-talk, because believe me, we all have self-talk. It's healthy, believe me. Have you ever asked yourself, how can I be more confident knowing that this text is appropriate for my level of learner? Just think about it. You've got to have asked yourself this question before. You're sitting there, you're trying to prepare for your lessons, you're going online, you're going through all these different types of digital text, fairy tales, short stories, news articles, other types of text from other sources. And you're like thinking just, is this going to be okay for them? I mean, is this appropriate? Sometimes we spend a lot of time in trying to figure out and find appropriate materials. Most of the time we end up just doing the eye test. You know what I mean? Like you just look at it, you're kind of like, this looks all right. I think this looks okay. But how can we be more confident? How can there be like metrics that can show us and give us that confidence that something is appropriate for our learners? Or how can we answer with confidence a little bit more about how does this sound? Or when someone asks us about how to sound more sophisticated, we have something that we can use based on metrics, based on numbers that can analyze stuff that can help respond to these questions. Well, the answer is LexTutor, all right? So this is the program that I kind of wanted to share with everyone here tonight. I'll spend a few minutes because why? Well, we just don't have a lot of time, but also it's such a massive program. There's just too much really to show. And I just want to highlight a couple of like the things I feel would be the most practical for all of us collectively. Yeah, we got a wide range of educators, professionals, and students with us. But I think though that there's a couple of tools that really anybody can use, no matter where you're at in your teaching career, okay? So LexTutor, you guys can see the website on the screen there, okay? And I have a little maple leaf next to it because yes, it is a Canadian site. You can see the .ca. It was created quite a long time ago by a professor over in Montreal University. And this is a free site. This is a free, massive online tool for language learners, educators, and it's not just English. They actually have this, there's actually multiple languages available in this online program. I've seen that they have, in addition to English, I've seen French, German, Spanish as well for like a lot of these tools that you can use. So LexTutor, okay? There's some things I want to highlight. The very first thing, okay, when you're looking at the screenshot here, I just circled in red on the screen, the Vocab Profiler and the Concordance, okay? So the Concordancer tool that is part of this online program, okay? These are the two things I really want to emphasize. I feel that everyone here can use. There's some other things too as well. I circled in blue on my screen, off to the right-hand side. One of the other nice things about this online site, and it's not just about analyzing Lexis, because circled in blue, these are things that you can use for materials development, which can really help save time. Close activities, we're talking about filling the gaps, types of assessments, short quizzes, flashcards, we all love using cards, clickers, I mean, games as well too. So there's some other types of tools in this online program, this site, that you can use. So it's not just about an analytical tool, but there's also things for like materials development. The best way to learn about the site is to go there, guys. After this webinar, go there, check it out, explore it. I really challenge you to check it out. And there's one other thing too, the Concordancer writer. I don't think we'll really have time to go over that. I'm just going to focus on the two things circled in red right now and just give you kind of the main gist of what they are, okay? So a few ways that you can use a Concordancer, and you can kind of see, and I think you kind of can understand, I mean, first off, a concordance, when we're talking about a corpus, so I mean, a large, a collection, a body of text of work put together, a concordance basically will take that text, it will just, show it to you where it can show you in the context, it can take things out, it can show you what comes before something, a keyword will comes after something, the text following it as well. And the Concordancer is basically just like a search engine, you know, for concordance, which is based off of a corpus. Okay, so this search engine tool, which you saw on the previous screen here, okay, circled in red. A couple of reasons why ways you can use it is just to explore collocations, help students or yourself look at your own errors in language, understanding different usages, meanings of words, genuine examples, and materials creation, like I said. So these are some of the ways that you can use a concordancer, like the one that you can find here in LexTutor. So for instance, if you're using the concordancer, this is just a sample screenshot. Say you're teaching 10th grade English in Kazakhstan, according to the curriculum, say you got the topic like stress and fear, and you're focusing on your learners, you're trying to introduce them about the term anxiety, okay? It goes along subject-specific type of terminology for stress and fear. And you can see when you use the concordancer, you know, this tool, the search engine, and it's gonna provide you the results here within the concordance. And you can see stuff before anxiety, after, so you see authentic language, and you can really see again what's strong collocations and what are weak collocations. Okay, so that's what you can really use this for. It's a great tool for like reference, or if you really, like I said, there was other reasons too. I mean, if you're looking for error correction to help people to understand their own errors, or if they're just kind of searching as like a project or for homework to find more authentic text, I mean, they can use this. Your learners can use it. You can encourage them to use it at home. You can bring into the classroom to use this tool. You can use it yourself, okay? You can use it yourself as well, too. So the other feature is the vocabulary profiler. And just to kind of mention about the vocabulary profiler, let me just show you this image here. When you're thinking, okay, what is all this? Immediately you kind of look at it as English language teaching professionals. We start trying to be, you know, we think critically, we break it down, we look at it, we try to understand it, we look for associations, patterns, things like that. And probably notice right away is there's a few different colors, there's 4 different colors. You may be looking at the language that's in certain types of colors, trying to see some kind of pattern. Maybe you're thinking it's like, you know, parts of speech or something, you know, you're trying to analyze it. So let me just kind of show and explain this screen here to you. So here's some text, kind of a lot of text. If you just look at this text, it's about osmosis. You don't need to know what that means. It's just an example. It's a biological process. We'll just say that. For those that are really into biology, maybe you may know this, you know, or for those of us that are, you know, soft colors, maybe you've taught in the context theme of biology, okay? But if you look at this text, you see a lot of difficult words, a lot of advanced terminology. Okay, so trying to look at this text, you're giving it the eye test, you can recognize right away, if you just look at it, this is advanced. Is this for 3rd graders? No. Okay, now I'm showing you a really kind of extreme example of like a very advanced text, just to kind of prove the point, so that way there's no kind of gray area within these examples I'm going to show you with the vocab profiler. Let's take this text. We're going to click on the vocab profile button that was on the home screen of LexTutor. Okay, and then what you're going to want to click on next is there's a few options. You're going to want to click on the vocab profile classic. Okay, so the classic is the one that you would really want to use. It's the most simplest one. Okay, and then you're going to get this screen, and basically you're going to just take that digital text and just right there, I got it circled in red. You're going to paste it right into there. You can see the osmosis text. I just pasted it into there. You're going to click the yellow button that says submit window. Okay, and boom, this comes out. What is this? I could talk forever even just about this, but here's what I want you to draw your attention to. Look at the percentages and the 4 colors. Remember that picture before? All that just jumbled text, different colors. There's 4 of them. What do those 4 colors mean? What do those 4 percentages mean that you can see kind of in the middle of the screen? The first 1,000 words. What does that mean? K1 words, first 1,000 words. These are the most frequently used words in English, okay? Which means that what? These are more basic, these are very common, typical words, probably smaller words that we use for many different purposes and everyday communication and conversation. For instance, the most frequently used word in English is what? Of, preposition. So again, so like that's one of the first 1,000 words, you know, so there's words that we use all the time. That's the first 1,000. The second 1,000 words, a little less frequently used. So we're talking about a little bit more, maybe call them a little bit more advanced type of words, maybe a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more larger words, maybe a little bit more challenging words, or the second 1,000. There's a third 1,000, a fourth 1,000, but this vocab profiler tool just focuses only on the first 1,000 and the second 1,000 only. And the other categories it focuses on is AWL words, which stands for academic word list. Okay, every basically like a, you know, this concordance and the vocabulary profiler tool is based off of Nation and Loffer's, basically their, you know, work that they did. They've created an academic word list of 570 words. That's what they use. You can see it, it states in the other screen on the within LexTutor, so you can see that. You guys can research that later because that's a whole other, you know, dissertation topic. And then the very fourth category is off list, technical or abstract terms. Okay, so basically, what does this mean here? So you see 4 different types, 4 colors, okay, and percentages in the middle. So that really technical one, that very difficult advanced text that about osmosis, you can say that, well, it's mostly technical, it's mostly red, it's subject specific. I mean, obviously this is English for specific purpose. This isn't going to be for primary school. And it's 6% academic words. It's fairly academic. So it's technical, it's very, you know, deep and within the subject, and it's quite academic in a lot of the words that are used. Now, okay. And then here's just an example of what it looked like if you actually saw it. And you can see the ton of red text, you know, with some yellow mixed in there for academic words. Here's a much more simplified text. It's a fairy tale. If you plug that into it, this is what you get with a fairy tale. And if you notice, it's mostly the first 1,000 words, 84%. It's very little academic words, very little kind of subject-specific vocabulary or technical or abstract language. This is very appropriate for a young learner. Okay, if you want to challenge your learner, say you got 8th or 9th graders, you want to challenge them a little bit more, you probably want your text then to be not 85% first 1,000, maybe you want about a 60-20 split, okay, with maybe about 3% academic words being used, still a very little kind of technical, you know, off words being used, okay? So again, you can just kind of learn through experience, play around with some stuff, go to this website, plug in some digital text that you have, check out the numbers that it produces. You'll be able to use this to just give you more confidence that, you know, what you're choosing is appropriate for that level of learner, okay? That's what you could use this kind of tool for, okay? So now I'm gonna have my invited guest speakers. I tried to give them some time. There was kind of a lot of things I wanted to kind of cover here before we got into it, but they're going to get into about online vocabulary development tools. Each one will present a specific program, okay? We know the advantages of online or digital vocabulary tools. A lot of you in the beginning of that poll used it, integrated a lot, okay? So I'm sure you're aware of these. So maybe these tools are some new tools for you that you haven't used, that you can add this to your tool belt, and that's what we're hoping, okay? I'm gonna put this link into the chat. This is a list of 24 great tools. The 3 tools you're gonna hear about are coming from this list, and there's more tools that are not being discussed, but they're on this list, so please take a look at that one at your own time and go through all these different tools. Again, there's 24 of them, they're great. The list has been updated during the COVID era, okay? All right, so thank you for your time, guys. I'm gonna go and pass it over to our very first invited guest speaker, which is Nargiza. Nargiza, okay, so it's gonna be all yours. And just to let you guys know, I think we're gonna go over probably at least about 5 to 10 minutes, just to let you guys know, so we could try to cover all 3 of these tools here for you guys, okay? All right.
Okay, thank you, Mr. August. So hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you're enjoying our webinar. So let me start, yeah. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate. So can you see?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, awesome. So guys, I'm going to present you an awesome online tool. Yeah, it is called VisualWords. I hope you know, some of you maybe know, maybe don't, yeah. Okay, so let me start what is it, yeah. VisualWords is a visual dictionary and serves as a tool that lets users see the web that connects words instead of only defining them or only providing text, yeah. So how to use this? So you may go through the link, yeah, visualwords.com, yeah, and then to use the applet, you only need to type a word into the search query at the top of the page and press enter. A network nodes, or it is called synset, yeah, it will spring out from the word that you interest. A synset is essentially a single concept that is represented by a number of terms or synonyms. For example, yeah, for example, here, when you look up sim, you see that the word is connected to 4 synsets, yeah, each represented by a green circle. So green means verbs. So all of the synsets represent verbs. And then you can see here that they have different, yeah, connections and different group types, yeah. So touching a node here, by touching a node, it will reveal all of the synonyms for a given synset as well as the definitions, yeah. Okay, so then how can, as a teacher, how you can use this in the classroom? So first of all, this shows the depth and complexity of meaning and the links, yeah, between words. So for example, sticking with the result for any English word, yeah, you can very easily display how some words in the English language have a broad range of meanings and possible uses. So in this result, you could highlight to the children, yeah, to your students, how many different shades of meanings there are for this just simple words. Yeah. For example, here you can see good example of this. Say, yeah, it is very simple on the outset, but if you run, yeah, as you can see from this picture, the search, you'll see it is complex and it is meaning and the usage. Yeah. So then I'm going to talk about here about the features of these VisualWords. What about links, about different word types, yeah? So you may think, what does this link mean? There is a clear difference between the various links that are displayed and the graphical key, yeah? You can see here key explains these connections. There are 19 different types of links that may be displayed, and yeah, sure, I certainly wouldn't expect to use them all or ask my children to understand them. But the key links I would be interested in are, for example, is a word for, yeah, is similar to derivations and opposes. So, and what about the colors? Yeah, so VisualWords uses 4 different colors to display 4 main word groups. So as you can see, greens are verbs, blue nouns, orange adjectives, and red ones are adverbs. So this proves to be a very effective visual aid to writing, as your children, your students can quickly generate adjectives from a search, yeah? And so if you punch, for example, happy, it's adjective, yeah? There is displayed wondrous tangle of synonyms so the children could use in their writing. Of course, yeah, they can roll over these and see the meaning of their new words if they wish. What about as a lesson fragment? Here, yeah, as you can give the task, the connection between your lesson and this vocabulary tool. For example, you can give a task, yeah, to find the one word. For example, drawing, yeah, they can find definition or synonym from that visual word, and then they can visualize, yeah, they can wrote, they can picture here. So it is one of the most important part of this. It's just like as an example you to use. I would like to add some advantages and disadvantages to let you know, yeah, to be honest. So advantages, it's a dictionary, it's thesaurus, and it's very great for writers, journalists, students, and teachers, yeah. And this online dictionary is available wherever there is an internet connection. And there is no membership required. There is no need of signing up, yeah. So some disadvantages, as I understood, yeah, it requires internet connection and it cannot work offline. It may seem very arbitrary, yeah, to be seriously considered. So it cannot be useful for colorblind people, unfortunately, yeah. But I hope that it has more advantages than disadvantages. Unfortunately, I have lack of time. Yeah, I don't have much time. I wanted to explain you each details. Yeah, but I tried to explain you in general. Yeah, so that's all. If you have any questions, please welcome. You may write in our chat.
Thank you, Nargiza. So appreciate that. So, Vizio Words is definitely a very good program. Now I gotta say one thing about, I put the link to an online article that contains 24 of these great digital tools. There's one, maybe I think two of them, the applications that you can download. You'll find out that they may not be actually available. They were at one point before, but they're not actually in our region, specific to Kazakhstan. In other regions, yeah. For instance, I've used them in the US, but there's a couple of applications that are not available in Kazakhstan. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it will be shortly, but most of those tools, they have online sites that work, and they have applications you can download as well too. Okay, just want to state that in case anybody ever came across that, just to state that. But thank you, Nargiza, for your words about Visual Words. Yes, for giving that overview of that application. And again, as the great English teaching professionals that we all are, we're going to explore it and see how we can, use that and integrate that potentially within our teaching practices, whether it is for online or offline lessons. Now I'm going to pass over to my next graduate student here, Galia, and she's going to go ahead and take over and share with you a different application. Okay, Galia, it's all yours.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. August. Good evening, the teachers and the colleagues. So today I would like to share with you my new tool. It is very useful for teachers. It is a word heaper. Maybe you heard about it. So I'm going to share. So do you see, guys?
Yes, we do see.
Okay. So there is very useful tool. Another tool is also vocabulary tool. So Word Heaper is a website with a helpful vocabulary resource. So this resource list is extensive, including synonyms, antonyms, word meaning with the example sentences, pronunciation and the rhyming words. So you can use only just typing in a word in the top search bar on the website and select which resource you want to use. So there is also a word form generator that will list all the different forms of word, such as the plural form, maybe the noun form, the verb form, and even different tense for verbs. So next, so this screen of this application Word Heaper, it is free to use, yeah. And so there is a most useful for English words, but some resource sections have other languages such as French, German, and even Kazakh language. So here you can see it in the screen. And this section will have translation and the conjunction resource for the foreign languages. All of these word resource tools complement each other to give the website user a greater understanding of vocabulary. So search for word HIPAA is the fastest and the easiest way to look up words on word HIPAA. If you're writing a document or browsing a website, simply highlight the word and right click to look up synonyms, antonyms, and the rhymes definitions. So even if the word isn't on the page, you can use the address bar. And the quick search box to enter any word by clicking on the extension icon near the address bar to search the thesaurus, dictionary, rhyming dictionary, and more. So the next. So word HIPAA gives more than a dozen useful options that you can use either from the button located on top of the main page or by using the drop-down menu below. So these options include looking for definitions, pronunciations, opposites, another word for your entered word, sentence examples, singular, plural, tenses, adjectives, adverbs, so all of the part of speech, yeah? Even the names of origin and the namings and the more. So it is a very quiet and a comprehensive service. You can use it whether you are a teacher or student, maybe a presenter or someone who wants to communicate and understand a client's native language for better professional communication. So I recommend to use this application. So any questions? Dear colleagues, please.
Yeah, guys, feel free to put your questions into the chat. So if anybody wants to put their questions in there, we're always looking for questions.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you, Galia, for the information about word HIPAA. Definitely a very kind of colorful kind of
so it is very incredible tool to use for teachers.
Yeah. Very attractive kind of the look to it. So that just in itself right there is an advantage of an online or digital tool like that with just the aesthetics of it, how it looks. So definitely. So thank you very much for that information, Galia. So guys, if you guys have questions, feel free to put them into the chat. I saw a couple, I saw requests for presentations as well. So that ways we can put presentations, we can put the files into the chat. So maybe if it's possible, Nargiza, I saw somewhere asking about your presentation, if it's possible to share, that file with the participants as well as Galia. So if maybe we can put it into there for us as well as my information as well, I can put it into the chat as well too. I put the links earlier for Lex Tutor and for the list of 24 digital tools. I'll put that link again in the chat. I think it got buried a little bit. So let's go ahead and move to our third and our final invited guest speaker, another one of my talented graduate students at Eurasian National University, Arujan. Okay, Arujan, it's going to be all yours now.
Thank you, Mr. August. So, hi everyone. I'm so glad to see you, and I hope you're doing well and enjoying our webinar. So, let me present you my online tool. So, just a minute. So it calls FreeRise. Have you heard of it before? If you have heard before, you can leave pluses in our chat. So do you know what the logo is here? This is the logo of World Food Program, and the FreeRise is a non-profit website run by the United Nations World Food Program. And this tool has two goals. The first one is to provide free education for everyone, and the second is help end world hunger by providing rice and rice to hungry people for free. And the free rice let users donate grains of rice simply by correctly answering educational questions. And the site earns money from advertisement banners displayed while we play, and in turn uses the funds to purchase rice. And where does the rice go? Perhaps even greater is the investment you donates rice makers is hungry human beings, and enable them to function and be productive. And somewhere in the world, you can imagine a person is eating rice that you helped provide. What is free? So the next is, what can you study? So you can learn here 10 different languages, English grammar and vocabulary, word flags and capitals, geography, yeah, and chemistry, also literature, maths, also SAT. And if you want, I can demonstrate this app. You can put pluses or
maybe Arjan, maybe you can show. We'll probably take a few more minutes, so we're fine. So maybe you can show like the vocabulary game, actually just showing literally like how they have the rice kind of just dropping into the bowl. It's
okay.
It's a lot of words.
There are some categories, as I have mentioned. So the first one is English, geography, then, and language learning, math, science, and so on and so forth. So the first one, English. So let's choose English proverbs, yeah? So all roads lead to... How do you think, guys? Which is the right one?
You want to guess?
I guess it's Rome.
Rome, Athens, Beijing, New York City.
I guess it's Rome.
Okay, let's choose this one. Yeah, that's right. So money walks, works, talks, sorts.
Talks. What money talks?
Talks. Yeah, that's right. So an apple a day keeps the virus, sickness, doctor, illness away.
Maybe illness.
Doctor away.
Doctor away. That's doctor. Right. So we can try the maybe.
I think maybe that was good, actually. I think some people started getting kind of into it. I tell you guys, this is like, it's really addictive. This free rice, it's one of, honestly, like of all the like the tools I came across, all the online digital tools I came across for all different types of aspects of English language teaching. Amazingly, this has been one of the most kind of, it just draws you in, and there's it covers a lot of different, things for language learning, other different types of categories and things. But that game, you saw like literally like, the rice going into the bowl, and it keeps track of how many grains of rice, you're donating. Really, it's really good. So, because of our time, I think we'll go ahead and we'll stop the demo there, but we gave you a little taste, I would say, of what free rice is. And, and it's definitely something that you can really encourage and use in your classroom. Because why? Because, you can pair this tool with, say, if you're focusing on maybe trying to, if there's ever promoting kind of international type of themes or topics, social awareness, global issues, anything like that, if you're trying to introduce or integrate that, into, your lessons for your English language teaching, this is a great kind of tool, and it's fun. The learners are going to like it, if you assign it for them to do this. So we definitely recommend free rice. Okay. So thank you, Arjan. Yeah, we really appreciate that. Yeah, no problem. All right, guys. So it looks like we're pretty much out of time. Now, what we always like to do is we always like to take a group photo. I don't think we got to take a group photo last time, and that was very sad because I love our group photos. I treasure them, every single one of them. So guys, let's flip on your cameras. Again, it doesn't matter if you got your son, your daughter on your lap, your cat, your dog, your bowl of ice cream, whatever you got going on, it doesn't matter. Go ahead, flip on your camera. We're all family here. We're all English language teaching professionals. We're a tight crew, all right? We're like the English teaching mafia of Kazakhstan, all right? So turn on your cameras. Maybe, Asiel, maybe you can go ahead and take charge of the photographs for everybody here and flip off a few. We got a lot of participants today here. Got a big audience.
I'm sorry, something has happened to my camera. It's too dark.
You can virtually put the thumbs up or a heart or something. So if your camera's not working, you can put up like some kind of emotion as well to your screen.
Okay. So
we give a thumbs up, everybody, maybe for vocab teaching. Yeah, thumbs up to digital tools. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, smiling. Just one more. Keep going, smiling. It's pretty great. Just a moment. Cool. I've got you all. I've got all of you.
Right. Cool. Excellent, guys. That's it, man. What do they say? A picture's worth 1,000 words. There's no online vocabulary tool that can possibly compete with a picture. I don't know. All right, guys. But again, so thank you all very much.
Sorry,
again,
will you take one small photo? Because I just switched on my camera. Will you take one small photo?
All right, guys. Okay, one more photo. Okay, a quick one. All right, here we go.
Okay, be ready. 1, 2. Just one again. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we got it. So, bye. Thank you, everybody. Again, we really appreciate it. Thank you all for everybody, what you do across Kazakhstan as English teaching professionals. Really, thank you very much. I hope to see you guys at future programming here through American Corners, Kazakhstan. Next week is going to be international education. All teachers, I got some great guest speakers coming that can talk about their experience in the US as educational professionals through exchange programs. I hope you guys can join us and maybe you can find about an opportunity for yourself. All right. Thank you guys. Take care. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Have a great evening.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Enjoy.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Goodbye.
See you later.
Excuse me. Will you send us the link to the form to complete to prove the attendance, or is it not necessary?
No, not necessary. We got the attendance just through the Zoom from attendance with Zoom. Who logged in? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And approximately when we will receive the certificates?
It may take 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be honest with you. We'll try as soon as we can. It may be a couple weeks. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your webinars. They were very interesting. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.